Hey there everyone, Alistair here from the Epic Project, and today we are going to be talking about hedgehogs, specifically how to make a hedgehog footprint tunnel that looks a little bit like this out of cardboard. And with a few modifications, this will tell you whether you've got hedgehogs in your garden or local green space. Now, despite being Britain's favourite mammal and our only spiny mammal, hedgehogs are in severe decline. They've had a 30% decline in their numbers just in the last 20 years, and that's on top of very steep declines in their population since the 1950s. So at the Epic Project, we would like to try and do our bit for hedgehogs, collecting data on their numbers and also showing people how they can improve their own garden habitats. I mean, thankfully hedgehogs love gardens, and with over 500,000 hectares of gardens in the UK, we can all do our bit to help out. If you've got a pond, make sure that one end of it has a ramp made out of logs or stone so that hedgehogs can get out if they get trapped in the pond. Cut a hedgehog hole in your fence or garden. One garden is almost never enough for a hedgehog to forage, so it needs to be able to move about in and out of gardens. Log piles, compost heaps and messy areas are a great place for hedgehogs to nest, and also encourage their natural insect prey of worms, slugs and other invertebrates. Or why not carry out a hedgehog survey? Hedgehogs can be surveyed at any time during their active period between about March and October, and lots of studies have shown that these hedgehog tunnels are the only really reliable way of telling whether you have hedgehogs in your garden. Hedgehog footprint tunnels are simple triangular tunnels with a removable insert to which A4 paper is attached and ink painted on either side of a dish of bait. As a hedgehog moves through the tunnel, it leaves footprints on the paper which can easily be identified. So what you need to make the hedgehog footprint tunnel is a cardboard box that, when it's laid flat, has a size of 1 meter by 1 meter. You also need some masking tape, a couple of bits of A4 white paper, some paper clips, some bait. I'm using an apple and some birdseed, but you can also use dry cat or dog food biscuits. You need a tape measure and pencil, a brush or a sponge, some vegetable oil, any cooking oils are fine, and something to colour it with. So I'm using some carbon that I've crushed from a bit of burnt wood. You can use vegetable dyes or anything that's natural to dye the oil. So the first thing you want to do is to flatten out your bit of cardboard and cut it to size. So the cardboard wants to be 75 centimetres from side to side, and from end to end anything between 80 centimetres and 1 metre. So after you've cut your cardboard to size, you need to make the sides of the hedgehog tunnel. You're just going to be scoring the cardboard, not cutting it through, but if you score at 23 centimetres and mark it, and then measure 23 centimetres again and mark it, and 23 centimetres again and mark it, then we can score the lines across the cardboard. So once you've got those 3 lines marked out across the cardboard, you can score it using a hard pencil or a nail or something. The idea is just to score a nice mark right the way across in those 3 lines at 23 centimetres apart. So where you've scored those lines, it now should be possible to quite easily bend those 3 sections, and you should have a little flap that goes over the top of the final section, and the structure of the hedgehog tunnel should be there. So next we are going to work on the insert of the hedgehog footprint tunnel, and this needs to be exactly the width of a sheet of A4 paper. So that's 21 centimetres across. So with a new bit of cardboard, mark out and score 21 centimetres and then cut any excess off. So once you've cut that to size, you should now have your hedgehog footprint tunnel. I've attached mine together with bulldog clips. You can use gaffer tape or some of the masking tape that you have, and this insert then should be able to slip inside the hedgehog tunnel, and that's where we're going to be placing the bait, and we'll work on that bit now. So next, get your 2 sheets of A4 and attach them to each end of the insert with the paper clips that you have. You can also use, again, a bit of masking tape at each corner, or pin tacks, or whatever else you've got to hand. So once you've got your bits of paper secured either end, you want to put a couple of strips of the masking tape on the inside of those bits of paper, about the width of your hand. So 3 or 4 strips, and this is going to be the base plate for the ink solution. So now your insert plate should look like that, with 2 bits of paper and the 2 strips of masking tape. So now it's time to move on to our ink solution. As I said earlier, I'm using some carbon, some wood carbon, whatever you use, make it into an oily solution. If you're using wood carbon, you can mix it approximately 50-50 with the oil, so it becomes a nice smooth paste. This should now be painted with your paintbrush or your sponge onto the 2 areas of masking tape, and with it being oil based, it means that it won't dry out in the heat. So the final thing to do is the bait. So if you use a little bowl, or I'm using here just the lid of a yogurt carton, try and make sure that it's securely fastened to the plate. So just a little ring of the masking tape will mean that it's sticky, double-sided. Put that in the very middle of the plate, add your bait, whether that's the dry dog food or cat food, apple or birdseed, and the base plate is now ready to insert into the hedgehog tunnel. Hedgehogs use linear features to navigate, so it's really important that you position the tunnel along a fence, wall or hedge line, or between 2 different vegetation types, like plants and grass. It should be positioned so that the entrance is flush with the ground at both ends and in a spot that minimises interference from passers-by. So thank you very much for watching. Best of luck with your own hedgehog tunnels. Please do send us the results in. Give it a few nights. It's best to leave them out for 4 or 5 nights and rebait them if necessary. Check whether you have any hedgehog footprints in there. But otherwise, thank you very much. Please like, comment, share as usual, and I hope to see you soon. Cheers, bye bye.